Orphan girl was humiliated when she asked for leftover food, unaware a billionaire was watching. Hello, welcome back. Please do well to subscribe, and let's know where you are watching the story from in the comments section. Rain fell hard on the city that night. The kind of rain that seemed to wash away hope, not just dirt. Emily pressed herself into the shadow of a boarded-up building, hugging her thin jacket. Clothes. The water had soaked through hours ago. Her shoes, too tight, squelched with every step. Emily had counted her coins 3 times since morning. Not enough for bread, not enough for anything. Her stomach twisted and growled, louder now as the smell of roasting chicken drifted from the restaurant across the street. Her hands shook, not just from hunger but from the memory of the day before. The shelter had thrown her out for the smallest mistake, a glass broken by accident, a plate not cleaned well enough. Nobody wanted trouble. Nobody wanted Emily. The restaurant glowed warm and golden. Families laughed inside, faces pink with comfort and good food. Emily watched, feeling smaller every second. She pressed her hand to her stomach. She could leave, walk away, but her feet wouldn't move. Something inside her, some stubborn bit, whispered, "Try, just one more time." Emily wiped her nose, straightened her spine, and crossed the street. She almost slipped on the curb, steadying herself on a lamppost. Nobody saw her, or maybe they pretended not to. She pushed open the heavy door and stepped inside. The restaurant was noisy. Silverware clinked, plates scraped, people talked and laughed. A TV in the corner flashed the news. Near the front desk, a tall, thin woman with sharp eyes and tighter lips watched Emily walk in. Mrs. Green. Her name tag shone bright as a warning sign. Emily hesitated, then approached the counter. She cleared her throat, her voice so small she hardly recognized it. "Excuse me, ma'am." Mrs. Green arched one eyebrow. "Yes. What do you want?" Emily gripped the edge of the counter. I was wondering, if you have any leftover food, maybe some bread, or anything. I can work, or sweep, or wash dishes. I don't want to beg, just something to eat, please. The woman's lips curled into a sneer. Leftovers? For you. She looked Emily up and down, eyes catching on every rip and stain. Do you know where you are? This is not a soup kitchen. Emily shook her head. I'm sorry. I'm just hungry. I'll do anything. A man at a nearby table snorted. His wife whispered, not softly enough, people like that are always looking for handouts. Mrs. Green's voice rose. We work hard here. Why should we feed every stray who comes off the street? Don't you people have any shame? A little boy at the window stared at Emily, wide-eyed. His mother tugged him away. Emily's cheeks burned. She tried to speak, but Mrs. Green leaned over the counter, her face inches from Emily's. You think the world owes you something? You want food? Go earn it. This is a place for paying customers, not for dirty beggars. Emily's eyes blurred with tears. She looked down at her hands, knuckles white on the counter. Her voice trembled. I'm not a beggar. I just need help. Mrs. Green laughed, sharp as glass. Well, you won't find help here. Out. Now. Or I'll call the police. Emily stepped back, but the room wasn't done with her yet. A teenager at the next table pulled out his phone, filming. Hey, check this out. Homeless girl gets owned. Laughter broke out around the room. The manager's words echoed, get out. Emily turned to leave. Mrs. Green grabbed a bag from under the counter, stuffed with food, scraps and napkins, and hurled it toward her. It struck Emily's shoulder, spilling cold, greasy fries onto the floor. "There's your dinner," Mrs. Green snapped. "Maybe next time you'll think before you stink up my restaurant." For a moment, the whole room was silent. Emily stood frozen, eyes fixed on the fallen fries. Her pride screamed at her not to cry, not here, not now. Then, from the shadows of the back corner, a voice spoke. "Is this how you treat children who are hungry?" Heads turned. At a small table by the window, a man sat alone. His suit was simple but elegant, his face unreadable behind dark-rimmed glasses. Nobody recognized him, nobody except the staff, who knew he sometimes ate there, always alone, always quiet. "Mr. Lucas." Mrs. Green's face shifted, all teeth and flattery. "Oh, Mr. Lucas, this isn't what it looks like. We have to keep a standard, you see, can't have just anyone coming in." He didn't answer her. His eyes stayed on Emily, gentle but intense. "What's your name?" he asked. Emily hesitated. She almost lied, but something about the man made her speak the truth. "Emily," she whispered. Mr. Lucas nodded, then looked back at Mrs. Green. "Do you know this girl?" Mrs. Green shrugged, eyes darting. "She's always hanging around, causing trouble, scaring off customers." Emily's heart pounded. "That's not true. I just wanted something to eat." "I wasn't." Mr. Lucas cut in, voice soft but firm. "Leave her be. I'll pay for whatever she wants tonight. And bring her a warm drink. Please." A wave of whispers swept the restaurant. Mrs. Green's face twisted, but she forced a smile. "Of course, sir. Right away." Emily stared at the floor, feeling every eye in the room on her. She wanted to say thank you, but her voice was gone. Mrs. Green hustled behind the counter, grumbling under her breath, making a show of pulling out a bread roll and a cup of tea. She slapped them onto a tray, then shoved it at Emily. "There. Take it. And don't come back." Emily picked up the tray. Her hands shook so badly the cup rattled. She nodded at Mr. Lucas, too embarrassed to speak. As she left, she heard the man say quietly, "Some kindness costs nothing. Some cruelty costs everything." Outside, the rain had slowed to a drizzle. Emily ducked under an awning, slid to the ground, and set the tray beside her. She looked at the bread, steaming faintly, the tea still hot. For a moment, she almost smiled. Someone had seen her. Someone had cared. But her peace didn't last. The door banged open behind her. Mrs. Green stormed out, face red with anger. "If I see you near my place again, you'll regret it, do you hear me?" Emily nodded, too tired to argue. She took a sip of tea, felt it burn down her throat. Mrs. Green went back inside, muttering. The street was quiet now. Emily finished the bread slowly, tasting every crumb. She set the empty cup aside, pulled her knees to her chest, and stared up at the sky. The city lights blurred with her tears. She thought of her mother, gone now almost a year. The warm hands, the soft voice, the stories whispered in the dark. "Be strong, Emily. Kindness matters, even when the world is cruel. Especially then." Emily wiped her eyes, tried to remember her mother's smile. Across the street, the restaurant lights dimmed as customers left, umbrellas bobbing down the sidewalk. Inside, Mrs. Green scolded the staff, slamming plates and muttering about ungrateful street rats. The boy who had filmed Emily posted the video online, his friends already laughing in the comments. But in the corner booth, Mr. Lucas sat quietly, tapping his phone. I want a full background. Check on the girl. Her name is Emily. Find her, he said softly to his assistant, a woman who appeared from the shadows. Yes, sir. Tonight, she replied. Tonight, he said, not taking his eyes off the door Emily had just left through. And be discreet. The assistant nodded and vanished into the night. Emily wandered away from the restaurant, cradling the last bit of warmth from the tea. The city was huge, the streets endless. But for the first time in a long time, she felt something shift, a spark in the dark, faint but real. She didn't know she'd been watched. She didn't know her life was about to change. She only knew the world was hard, but she was harder. And somewhere, someone had shown her a sliver of kindness. If you haven't subscribed yet, I'd love you to join our community by hitting the subscribe button. Through our stories, we build hope and give future to orphans and people abused all over the world. Also let us know in the comments, where you are watching us from and how this story hit home for you. The night passed in fits of cold sleep and hollow dreams. Emily woke at dawn beneath a bridge. Cardboard for a blanket. She'd slept with one eye open, clutching her backpack, a battered thing, holding the last photos of her mother and a faded storybook. Her stomach ached, but not as much as the ache in her heart. Emily pulled herself to her feet. The city was waking up, buses rumbled by, shops clicked open. And the scent of fresh bread drifted from a bakery. She pressed her nose to the glass for a moment, then forced herself to move on. Begging would only draw the police, and she wouldn't go back to the shelter, not after the way they'd thrown her out, not after the names they'd called her. She walked. The city was endless, each street like a test she had to pass. Around mid-morning, Emily spotted an old woman struggling to carry groceries up the steps to her apartment. The woman's cane slipped on the wet stone, and her bag toppled, apples rolling across the sidewalk. Emily rushed forward. Here, let me help, please. The old woman flinched, clutching her purse. Don't steal from me. I don't have any money. Emily shook her head. I'm not a thief. I just want to help. I promise. She picked up the apples, placed them gently back in the bag, and offered her arm. The woman hesitated, then took it. They climbed the steps together, one slow stair at a time. At the top, the woman fumbled for her keys. Thank you, dear. Not many children help strangers anymore. Emily smiled, shy. It's no trouble, ma'am. Have a good day. She turned to go. The woman called after her, wait. She dug in her purse, pulling out a small coin. For your kindness. Emily stared at the coin. It wasn't much, but she knew what it meant. She accepted it, thanked the woman, and slipped it into her pocket. Down the block, a man in a baseball cap watched Emily from behind a newspaper. He tapped an earpiece. Sir, she's helping an old lady. Looks like she's got a good heart. Across town, Mr. Lucas listened quietly. He sat by a window, rain tracing lines on the glass. His assistant, Ms. Parker, stood nearby. Should we approach her now? She asked. Not yet, Mr. Lucas replied. Let's see what she does next. Back on the street, Emily clutched her coin, trying to decide how to spend it. Hunger gnawed at her, but a little voice in her head, a memory of her mother, whispered, someone else may need it more. She wandered until she reached a crowded bus stop. People huddled under umbrellas, complaining about the weather. A frail man sat on the bench, coughing into his sleeve. Emily sat beside him, offering a nervous smile. "You okay, mister?" she asked. He shook his head. "Forgot my medicine. Won't let me on the bus without it. Guess I'll have to wait for my daughter to come." Emily bit her lip. She looked at the coin in her hand, then at the man. Without thinking, she pressed the coin into his palm. "Here. Get your medicine. I'll be fine." The man's eyes filled with tears. "Are you sure, little one? Don't you need it yourself?" Emily nodded. "I'll be okay. My mum always said helping someone is worth more than money." She stood and walked away before he could protest. Behind her, the man waved, calling, "Thank you. God bless you, child." A block away, two boys loitered by a trash bin, snickering. They saw Emily and moved to block her path. "Hey, aren't you the beggar girl from Green's place?" the taller one sneered. Emily kept her head down. "I'm just passing through." They circled her. "Mrs. Green says you cause trouble. She doesn't want you near her place." Again. Emily swallowed, her heart pounding. "I haven't done anything to her." The boys shoved her, not hard, but enough to send a message. "Stay away if you know what's good for you." Emily steadied herself. "You should be nicer. I'd help you if you needed it." The boys laughed, but there was uncertainty in their eyes. Emily walked past them, shoulders straight. From across the street, Miss Parker filmed everything. She relayed it to Mr. Lucas. She didn't fight back. She just walked away. "Keep watching," Mr. Lucas said. "She's stronger than she looks." That afternoon, Emily wandered to the city park. Her stomach rumbled, but she pushed the hunger down. She found a bench, sat, and pulled her knees to her chest. A man approached. His clothes were rumpled, his beard wild, his shoes mismatched. He carried a mop and a bucket, which he set down with a thud. "You look hungry," he said gently. Emily eyed him warily. "I'm okay." The man sat beside her. "I could use some help cleaning a house, just for an hour or so. Pays enough for a meal." Emily's eyes lit up. "Really? I can clean. I'm good at it." He nodded. "Follow me." They walked together to the edge of the park, where a black car waited. The man opened the door for her, smiling softly. "Don't worry, you're safe." Emily slid inside, too hungry and tired to question her luck. The car glided through the city to a quiet neighborhood, then turned into a driveway so long it seemed to disappear into the trees. The house was a mansion, white stone, tall windows, and flowers blooming everywhere. Emily's eyes widened. "Is this where you work?" she asked. The man grinned. "Something like that. You can start in the kitchen. Just wipe the counters and sweep the floor." Inside, the house was quiet and spotless. Emily worked quickly, careful not to touch anything she shouldn't. The kitchen gleamed. When she finished, the man returned, handing her a sandwich and a glass of milk. "Thank you," she said, voice thick with gratitude. He nodded. "You did well. What's your name?" "Emily." He smiled. "I'm Mr. Lucas." Emily froze. The name sounded familiar, but she couldn't place it. "Don't worry," Mr. Lucas said. "You're safe here. Come back tomorrow if you want more work." Emily left the house with food in her belly and hope fluttering in her chest. For the first time in ages, things felt possible. Back at the restaurant, Mrs. Green's nerves were raw. She paced her office, biting her nails. That girl, she's trouble. I know it. If she gets close to my place again, I'll make sure she regrets it. She called her nephew, who worked as a security guard. Keep an eye out for her. She could ruin everything if people start feeling sorry for her. Emily walked the city that evening, a smile tugging at her lips. The boys from before watched her pass but said nothing this time. As the sun set, Emily sat on a bench and ate the last bite of her sandwich. A stray cat curled beside her. She stroked its back, whispering, "It's getting better. I think maybe it's really getting better." Unseen, Ms. Parker watched from a distance, taking notes. Back at the mansion, Mr. Lucas reviewed the day's reports. She has courage. She helps, even when she has nothing herself. He looked out the window, the city lights twinkling. Tomorrow, she'll face a new test. Let's see what she does. Emily arrived at the mansion early the next morning. She hadn't slept much, her mind buzzed with hope and fear, but she was determined to prove herself. The mansion looked even bigger in the daylight. She paused at the gate, wiped her shoes on the mat, and tried to smooth her hair. Inside, a tall woman with cold eyes waited for her. Clara, the head maid, wore a spotless uniform and a frown. "So you're the street girl," Clara said, voice flat. "You'll work in the kitchen today. No mistakes. Or you're out. Understand?" Emily nodded, swallowing her nerves. "Yes, ma'am." Clara handed her a mop. "Start with the floors. Then do the dishes." Emily worked in silence, her movements careful and quick. She didn't mind the work, she was used to it. But she felt eyes on her, Clara and two other maids, whispering behind her back, shooting her dirty looks. After a while, Clara appeared again, holding a small silver bracelet. This was in the hallway, Clara announced loudly, showing it to everyone in the kitchen. "It's missing from Mrs. Allen's room. Anyone know how it got there?" Emily glanced up, confused. "I haven't been in any rooms but the kitchen. I swear." Clara's face twisted. "Are you calling me a liar?" Emily shook her head. "No, ma'am. I'm just saying, I didn't take anything." The kitchen staff eyed Emily with suspicion. One of them, a young man named Tom, muttered. "Knew she'd cause trouble." Clara waved the bracelet in front of Emily. "Empty your pockets." Emily did, showing only a scrap of bread and her old storybook. Clara patted her down, making a show of it. "Nothing," Clara said, voice full of fake surprise. But the bracelet didn't walk out by itself. Emily's face burned. "Please, I didn't steal it." Clara turned to Mr. Lucas, who had just entered the kitchen. He watched the scene quietly. "Sir, we can't have thieves in the house," Clara said. "You saw her, she's from the street. Who knows what else she might take?" Mr. Lucas looked at Emily, his gaze kind but searching. "Emily, is this true? Did you take anything?" Emily shook her head hard, tears starting in her eyes. "No, sir. I would never." He nodded. "Let's find out for sure." He pressed a button. On the wall, a screen lit up, showing security camera footage from the hallway. The footage played, it was Clara, not Emily, who dropped the bracelet near the kitchen. The room fell silent. Mr. Lucas's voice was calm but sharp. "Care to explain, Clara?" Clara's face went white. "It must be a mistake, the cameras." Mr. Lucas interrupted. "Enough. I trusted you, Clara. You tried to ruin an innocent girl's name. Pack your things. You're done here. Clara glared at Emily, then stormed out, slamming the door. Tom, the young staffer, mumbled an apology to Emily. The other maids looked away, ashamed. Emily stood trembling, relief and shock mixing in her chest. Mr. Lucas came over, offering her a handkerchief. Don't let their cruelty change you. The world tests people like you the hardest. Emily nodded, wiping her eyes. Thank you for believing me. He smiled. You earned it. Meanwhile, back at the restaurant, Mrs. Green was still stewing. The nephew she'd asked to follow Emily had reported seeing her enter a fancy house. Mrs. Green slammed her phone down. That girl is up to something. If she tells anyone about me, about how I treated her, she picked up the phone and dialed a number. You, go to the big house on Maple Lane. Find out what's going on. I want dirt on that little rat. That afternoon, Mrs. Green arrived at the mansion, marching up to the door like she owned the place. She demanded to see the owner. Emily, dusting the hallway, saw her through the window and froze. Her heart hammered. What did Mrs. Green want now? Mrs. Green's voice echoed in the entryway. I know all about that girl, Emily. She's a troublemaker. She's lied, stolen, and ruined my business. Ask anyone. Mr. Lucas faced her, expression calm. I've done my own research. I know what really happened. At your restaurant. I saw you humiliate a hungry child. That tells me everything I need to know. Mrs. Green's face reddened. You believe her over me? I have witnesses. Mr. Lucas's assistant stepped forward, holding a phone. Actually, we have footage from your restaurant. You humiliated Emily in front of everyone. Your staff supported it. And your nephew tried to harass her. Mrs. Green's bluster faded. She realized she had no power here. You're not welcome here, Mr. Lucas said quietly. I suggest you leave, before I call security. Mrs. Green turned on her heel and stormed out, cursing under her breath. Emily watched from the shadows, shaking but relieved. Mr. Lucas called her over. You stood up for yourself. That takes courage. Emily lowered her head. I didn't want to cause trouble. You didn't, Mr. Lucas said. You showed the truth. After Mrs. Green left, Emily finished her chores. The staff, now kinder, offered her tea and cookies. Tom even asked if she'd help him with the garden the next day. That night, as Emily walked home beneath a sky full of stars, she felt lighter. She hadn't run away. She hadn't let their lies win. She glanced up at the windows of the mansion. Somewhere inside, Mr. Lucas watched her go. Thoughtful. Back at the restaurant, Mrs. Green raged. But there was nothing she could do. Word would spread. People had seen her true colors. Emily, meanwhile, slept beneath the bridge again, but this time, hope kept her warm. Tomorrow, maybe things would be better. The sun rose bright over the city, burning away the mist and shadows. Emily arrived at the mansion with a new energy in her step. The house didn't scare her now. She was ready for whatever the day brought. She found Mr. Lucas waiting for her in the garden, sipping coffee by a bed of white roses. He smiled as she approached. Good morning, Emily. How are you feeling? Emily hesitated, but then smiled back. Better. Thank you for giving me a chance. He nodded, gesturing for her to sit. You've had a hard life, Emily. Most people in your place would have given up. But you didn't. You helped others even when you had nothing. Emily looked down at her hands, uncertain. I just did what my mother taught me. She always said, no matter what happens, do the right thing. Mr. Lucas set his cup aside and looked her in the eyes. I want to tell you something about myself. I wasn't born with money. My parents died when I was young. I was alone, hungry. Scared, just like you. Emily's eyes widened. She'd always thought rich people were born lucky. Mr. Lucas nodded. Reading her thoughts. I know how it feels to be looked down on, to be called names, to have doors slammed in your face. That's why I worked hard. And that's why I always watch for people like you. He paused, letting his words sink in. Last night, I decided something important. I want to help you, Emily. Not just with food and shelter. I want to give you a real chance, a home, an education, and a future. Will you accept? Emily's breath caught. For a moment, she couldn't speak. Why me? Because you have courage and kindness, Mr. Lucas said. You don't let hate turn you cruel. That's rare. Tears welled in Emily's eyes. Thank you. I promise, I won't let you down. Mr. Lucas smiled. I know. He led her inside, where the staff greeted her kindly. Even Tom, the gardener, gave her a shy wave. In the dining room, Miss Parker handed Emily a set of keys and a small card. Welcome home, Emily. The card read, Emily Lucas, Foundation Ambassador. Mr. Lucas explained, you'll live here, go to school, and when you're ready, you'll help me with my charity for children without families. You'll be their voice, their hope. Emily nodded, a new determination rising in her chest. Meanwhile, the city buzzed with new rumors. After the footage from Mrs. Green's restaurant leaked online, people began to talk. Comments flooded in, some angry, some sad. Within days, protesters gathered outside the restaurant, holding signs that read, Kindness Matters, and, Respect the Hungry. News cameras rolled as customers turned away, and Mrs. Green's once busy business emptied. The health inspector arrived, and soon after, a closed sign appeared on the front door. Mrs. Green's cruelty had finally caught up to her. Back at the mansion, Emily settled into her new room, a cozy space with bookshelves and sunlight pouring through the windows. She couldn't stop touching the bedspread, soft and clean. She pressed her mother's old photo to her heart and whispered, We made it, Mama. Mr. Lucas knocked gently and stepped inside. There's someone I want you to meet. He led her down to the main hall, where a group of children waited. Some looked scared, some hopeful. Mr. Lucas smiled at Emily. They're like you were, nervous, unsure. I want you to talk to them. Emily took a deep breath, then walked up to the group. She knelt so they could see her eyes. I know what it's like to be alone, she said softly. But you're not alone now. There are good people in the world. Sometimes, it just takes a little courage to find them. Don't ever be ashamed to ask for help. A little girl with tangled hair reached for Emily's hand. Emily squeezed it gently. The children gathered around, drawn to her warmth. Mr. Lucas watched from the doorway, proud. That evening, Emily and Mr. Lucas stood in the garden, watching the sunset paint the sky. Emily looked at her new friend, the man who'd changed her life with a simple act of kindness. What will happen to Mrs. Green? She asked quietly. Mr. Lucas shrugged. The world teaches its own lessons. People remember what matters, how you treat those with nothing. She'll have to learn the hard way. Emily nodded. She thought of all the nights she'd gone hungry, all the times she'd felt invisible. And she realized she was invisible no longer. She was seen. She was safe. And she was ready to help others see hope, too. As the stars blinked into the night, Emily whispered, "Thank you. For everything." Mr. Lucas smiled. "Thank you, Emily. For reminding me what really matters."